This week's episode is brought to you by NYXI and their Hyperion Pro Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch. The Hyperion Pro is the best Joy-Con replacement we've tested to date. They look fantastic, they feel better than stock Joy-Cons, and the Hall effect sticks ensure longevity of them will outlast Nintendo's offering, as well as other third-party brands that still suffer with the dreaded drift issues. The super comfortable and ergonomic grip allow for easy long-time gaming. The programmable RGB lights mean you can customize the controller to your particular taste, and the gamer's reflex macro buttons are available to give you an edge. Plus, the GameCube-inspired purple option and the green Legend of Zelda-inspired variant really make the controller stand out. All this, and using promo code PvP, you can get 10% off. Head over to nixigame.com or use the link in the description. Hello, welcome to Podcast First Play, episode 284. I'm one of your hosts, Callan. As always, I'm joined by a man who got fired, so he turned in his gun and his badge. His boss said, "You're a waiter, where did you get those?" It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Or mate.
Alright, how you doing?
I am alright. It's gone a bit muggy again, which I'm a bit annoyed at.
Well, you say that. It's also about 16 fucking degrees outside.
Yeah, 17 here.
Yeah, so not pleasant.
Not the nicest. Not the worst either. And apparently it's going to get to 30. Oh, excuse me, over the weekend.
Well, I'm not going to concentrate here, mate.
Why?
Because I need to make this not full screen and I don't know how to stop it from not being full screen.
What?
Discord.
Just minimise it.
No, there's no minimise option.
Oh. You not got the bar at the top?
Ah, show chat, there we go.
Oh.
No, if you full screen it just vanished.
Oh, weird. Very weird.
Mm.
We'll just start that bit again.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
It's alright, it's alright. 3, 2, 1. Say bloody Dan. Hello. How are you, Governor? Your thumbs up, everyone. To all our audio listeners, Dan's going to do the rest of the show like this.
In sign language.
It's Wednesday, Dan. You know what that means?
Monster trucks, church, a big piece of chicken pie.
Ghost to the fridge ghost. No, hard-hitting news.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, news. According to new leaks, Microsoft and Nvidia are working to bring GeForce Now to Xbox consoles, which will allow users to turn their consoles into RTX 4080 powered gaming beasts. Technically, not really though. I'm not going to review the whole thing, but effectively, it is what it says. GeForce will potentially be available, presumably the same way as EA Play and stuff is through Game Pass.
Yep.
And in Japanese, on the Japanese Xbox store, which is very weird that it started over in Japan and not in America, but
Maybe it's
hey
a
ho.
thing there.
Alongside games, where is normally the purchase button or Play Now button, there is a Play via GeForce by GeForce option. Now the benefit to this, Dan, is unlike xCloud, which is limited to 1080p streaming, GeForce goes all the way up to 4K.
Yeah, it's the recording software that we use on gameplay recorders.
Oh yeah, obviously not that GeForce. GeForce Now is the game streaming service that's available on like the Nvidia Shield and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's on PC as well.
It is. It's a part of the experience.
Yeah. So I've used it a couple of times, and it's worked fine. But it's another thing where there's free games on there, but if you subscribe to it, you get more choices, and it's just another thing to subscribe to. But yeah, I thought that was quite interesting news, Dan.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Would you ever consider getting rid of a PC and just streaming your PC games?
Before you finish that sentence, absolutely not. No.
Neither do I, so I don't really know why I asked, but obviously some people are out there going, well, if my Xbox can just play...
I was going to say, if you've got an Xbox and it's something that can enhance it, much like the kind of like the enhancer decks and that kind of thing from your Mega Drive days and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If it actually works, then there's no harm. If anything, all it's going to do is just make people who've got console think, fucking hell, maybe I should get a PC if this is what it looks like all the time.
Maybe, but again, do you think it will put people off if they haven't got good enough internet to do it?
No, I think it will force people. And the thing is that with most internet providers, they're trying desperately to get everyone up to that. remember if it's like they're trying to get into like a human right law or something like that. But it's like, you know, you need access to the internet because, you know, kind of the world is dependent on it now. It's built around it. You have to have it, and therefore, the more people using it, the more advanced it becomes. Then the higher the bandwidth that you need. And most people, myself included, don't really have the highest of bandwidths, which is somewhat annoying. Especially when you're downloading some fucking flight simulator update that's 140 gig.
It takes a week.
I've got to leave it on overnight. Not happy with that, Callum. I live in the middle of a city centre, one of the biggest cities in the country, and my internet's dog shit. Not happy.
It is, like, I was talking about this the other day, and like next month, I'll be swapping over from my current internet provider to my new internet provider, and they've promised, whether they deliver is a completely different question, but 500 meg upload, 500 meg download, which is a big improvement from what I've currently got.
It's an easy promise to make, though, isn't it?
It is. So I'm going to hold them to it. But
have they told you that there's a minimum guaranteed speed?
Minimum minimum download speed is 500.
No, is that in the contract?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But the upload isn't. That's not a minimum.
Either way, it would be significant.
Oh, yeah.
It would be significantly more than what you're on at the moment, should I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they've got that minimum guarantee, then if they can't reach that, then... have they done like any checks on the hardware? Yeah,
they came round not last month, the month before. It's been installed because it's full fibre, so it's all been done in the street.
How can the little village that you live in get this sort of shit before they?
This is what I was saying. So I was talking to someone, I'm sure it was last week, but it was on about it, and I was saying, like, I've got fibre optic now. Dan's still got broadband. But I live in a tiny, like as you said, a little village in the middle of fucking nowhere. You live in the middle of Manchester. It's bonkers. It really, really is. And they can go, well, it's the building. You give a fuck. You can get into any building.
It's not the building. I think it's the roads. Like, if the cables physically don't exist under the streets, you have to dig the streets up. And doing that in the middle of a city centre is... You close it down for weeks.
Anyone in Manchester use... What's Elon Musk's thing that uses the satellites? Starlink, yeah.
I think it's the priority for it is getting it to the poorer parts of the world where they don't have any internet infrastructure. Me just going, my download speeds aren't quick enough. Don't think I'd qualify for that, to be fair. And if I did, it would be so fucking expensive. I'm pretty sure the 5G on my phone is quicker than the internet speed.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah.
If I didn't have a data limit, I could probably just hotspot it, and that would download games quicker than my actual broadband, which is not okay.
That's what I use when we go on holiday. Because I got like 160 something gig data on my
Well,
phone.
I don't, and because I'm starting to go back to the gym, Callum, for the first 2 weeks of me being there, the gym's Wi-Fi wouldn't just allow me to sign in. So I was like, can't really listen to Spotify because I've only got this 6 gig of data, mainly for the fact that the last time I got my contract changed, which was like 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
We actually looked at my data usage outside of Wi-Fi, and that was when I was working at... It was my last job, yeah. And I was walking to work, Spotify. Walking back from work, Spotify. While I'm there, Wi-Fi. When I'm at home, Wi-Fi. Going on the train to you, Wi-Fi. Going on the train anywhere, Wi-Fi. There was no need for it to be unlimited data or 100 gig of data or whatever it is. Now, on the other hand, I've got way further to fucking walk. I've got another train where the Wi-Fi is too shit to use because it's like 600 gig, but then it's separated out over 200 people.
Yeah.
So you get... And people are
half a gig
laptops and shit. It's bullshit. And then now I've got to go to the gym. I mean, luckily they've sorted the Wi-Fi out, so I can connect to that again. So at least I can listen to some decent tunes or some bullshit house music.
You can listen offline though if you download them in advance
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Why not do that? We'll do that offline.
Yeah. So you definitely can. Cause that's what I used to do. But when I basically did my typical. Well, EE, what you gonna offer me to stay with you fuckers? And I got an extra 100 gig, and then I got a tablet, and that gave me 25 gig, and then I just did the same again when it came to renewing, and then I got another like 40 something gig.
I don't know when I'm due an upgrade. I don't think it's this year. I think it's probably next year because it was like they'd started doing these 3-year like mandatory contracts for more advanced tech. Not a fan of the 3 years, by the way. Absolutely not.
I mean, that's better than fucking Sony. Sony phones have got it's every 6 months, something like that.
So charges, extras, blah blah blah. So you can upload. You can upgrade the airtime plan. Again, splitting that, I don't like that. Oh, you can upgrade your device today. What?
Might be a cost. Because I've been able to upload for like the last 14, 15 months or something like that, but nothing I really want at the minute.
Yeah. You'd be able to do this from the 22nd of October, 2024.
In a couple of months. September next month, Dan. No, August next month even.
Ah, there we go. You have an active credit agreement. So there's... so we can pay off the remainder of the phone plan. Or continue the... Oh, so you could take out a new phone, but then continue the phone plan. Potentially there's something that... Again, I'm kind of with you, mate.
Yeah, but then you're paying two, though, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like 700 quid that's left on it. And I'm not in the mood to upload. It's upgrade, sorry. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing new that's sort of groundbreaking or that makes me want to take the hit and, get something else. And that 700 quid I'd rather spend on something better.
The cat. You would have got a cat.
Oh yeah, but a better cat.
But there's the Fold 5's out either now or very, very soon.
Well, then by this time next year there'll be a 6.
That's what I mean. It's as with everything. It's never worth going 21, 22, 23, 24. You just go. Yeah, you miss one.
You're either an odd number or an even number person. Yeah. So you're going from 19. Oh, they don't really do sort of like 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, Apple.
Do they?
Apple do. We're on iPhone 15.
Apple do, but they're fairly consistent with everything. But like the Samsung is sort of like, I don't remember there being like a Galaxy 19.
No, I mean it's typically
it was like 20, 20 plus, 21, 22, 23. I think they're on now, or 24 actually now.
24 now, yeah.
Yeah, but it's never like the Samsung 6. It's the same as the Notes. Like they just seem to just skip a bunch for some reason.
But then again, that's what the current ones are. Like the Ultra, like my S22 Ultra was the new Note because they scrapped the Note line altogether and merged the S and the Note together to do the Ultras.
Yeah, because it was the Plus, wasn't it?
Yeah, like whatever the number was, and then Plus, and then
unless there's a Google Pixel, maybe a new Pixel.
I
really like my Google XL.
The Pixel 8 Pro is a really good phone, and that's what I was umming and ahhing about. But
fuck me, I had the 3XL. Yeah, that's what I got my Home Hub with. Bloody Nora.
But there's also Pixel Fold, I think it's called, which is basically your phone bar Pixel. And then I believe the 9 is about to be revealed any day now.
Yeah.
So again, hold out.
Well, maybe this time next year, Callum, we can revisit it.
Yeah.
But up until then, it's fine, it's functional, it does its job very well. And I'm just annoyed that it's got better internet than I have.
Yeah, you just need more data, that's all you need.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hotspot mine from here, though. Hotspot my phone to your PC.
It would be the equivalent of trying to transmit the internet through a string on a wire. Like a tin can
like
string,
two cans, yeah.
Yeah.
Other news, Dan, as we very briefly talked about the other day, there's a new Hellboy movie coming out. And
yes, there is, Callum.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Hellboy and the Crooked Man.
Yeah, the Crooked Man, starring Jack Kesy as the titular half demon. And the trailers are here, Dan, for everyone to watch.
It is.
Looks, yeah.
It seems like it's they've just gone, look, if we want to continue, whatever company or studio owns the rights to making Hellboy movies, it's like they did two fairly solid ones, like one really good one okay one, and then they did the David Harbour one, which I didn't finish. And great. Then this one I feel looks better, and I'd probably enjoy it more than the Hellboy and the
last one.
Waste of money or whatever it's called. But I feel that they've gone. You've got budget for a couple of ghosts. You've got budget for the Hellboy outfit. Off you go.
Yeah. Go use your own cameras.
And they just said, film it in the woods. Just film it in the woods. It's a Blair Witch Hellboy detective story. That's my only silver lining to it, is that the fact that it's not like, there's a million billion monsters and ghouls and demons and, exploring the depths of hell and elves and whatever. And they've just said it needs to be in the 50s, so no tech, so we can get past all of that.
Yeah.
Absolute basics, and it's like a Witcher bounty hunt kind of thing.
Which could work.
If it's that, I think it could work. You're right. And I think that maybe this... what's his name? Jason something.
Jack Kesy, Kesy, Kesy.
Kesy. I'm going to have a little look, because I don't... Just looking at the face, I don't recognise the face.
I don't recognise him, but I'm going to go out on a whim and say he has been in stuff.
Yes, I would be very surprised if he hasn't been. You don't get a title character like this, unless it's supposed it is a failed... it's a failed franchise that you can kind of... Maybe you can try and reboot. Because then you're either on the pile with just, oh, boo, another one. Or it's like, oh my god, you're now the face of the new Hellboy and you brought it back. Even though it's obviously not...
Forget Ron Perlman.
Exactly. So, in terms of acting, a bunch of stuff that he's either uncredited for, bit part, Grand Street, The Throwaways, Intruders, Tomato Soup, Ray Donovan. That was a thing.
Oh,
that was
a TV show.
He's in one episode of that, so some sort of bit part. He's in 29 episodes of something called The Strain, which I've
The Strain doesn't ring a bell.
Yep. He was in Baywatch, the new Baywatch thing with.
The movie one, yeah, with The Rock.
Yeah, he was in that. Someone called Juggernaut, 12 Strong, The Alienist, one episode of that. Someone called Death Wish. He was in Deadpool 2. Black Tom. Oh, he's the guy who starts on Wade in the prison. I knew I recognised his little face from somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, because he's sort of like, oh, white guy called Black Tom. Yeah. Claws, The Outpost Deputy, Mosquito State, Dark Web Cicada, The Weapon.
A couple of standout titles. Not big parts, but...
Yeah, anything that you'd recognise, it wouldn't be a big part. So this is probably going to be, could be his biggest break. Which is good news, I hope, for him. So good
hopefully, luck, it has been. The screenplay is from Christopher Golden and Hellboy creator Mike Mignola. So
maybe they decided like we need to get the creator in to just give us some credit, like some
bit of direction,
some credence, and like just try and put his. It's like when they go, oh, this Aliens film, and now James Cameron's involved because they're like. James, we can't do these. We can't do these on our own. You've got to come in. Even if we just put your name on it, just visit the set every now and then. We'll take some behind-the-scenes stuff so it looks like you're here all the time. But for the love of God, help us try and sell these movies. Speaking of, there is a new Aliens film.
There's a new Aliens film.
What's it called? Aliens, Here's Another Ripley.
I think that's the full title of it.
Is it supposed to be... what's her name? Is it Isabel... Ripley's daughter? I'm
pretty sure it's Ripley's daughter.
So is this supposed to be anything to do with isolation?
Probably not. That's a guess. That's a massive guess. I don't know.
It's just that that's the best Alien game. Period. Except maybe some of the AVPs,
Romulus,
the original AVPs. Romulus.
Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. Set between the events of Alien and Aliens, the story concerns a group of young space colonists who, while scavenging a derelict space station, come face to face with the most terrifying life form in space. That's all.
The Muppets?
That's all. That's literally all it says. This was meant to be released on Hulu as well, and then they've very quickly changed it to cinema.
Well, you say that. Wasn't Prey a Hulu thing?
Hulu Disney Plus.
Yeah, and look how fucking good that was.
But that was made for that.
But the thing is that if they've done the same thing and they go, it's a smaller budget, it's a far more contained story, it doesn't have to try and talk about fucking all the alien shit constantly. Don't have 40 different crew members. No one gives a shit. You just have your Ripley and your Bishop and your Hooks.
Yeah, you need like 4, 5 max. 5 so that at least 2 can die.
Oh, all of them. Only one should survive, theoretically. But if it's supposed to be Ripley's... Again, I don't know. It's the fact that they've given her a pulse rifle in a tank top. I think she's got long hair or curly hair.
Might just be that's the style. That's space style.
They did the same thing with Covenant, though, didn't they? They got the woman with the short hair. Like, they had her sort of like with the white tank top on, and everyone's just sort of like, oh, is this any Ripley? Is this supposed to be Ripley? Is it Ripley's daughter, granddaughter, blah, blah, blah? Ripley's mom? Ripley's mom has got a gun.
If that isn't the theme, like the soundtrack.
I'm going to have a little look at IMDb. I don't want to do anything that's going to...
No. I just Wikipedia'd it, looked at the plot, and that's all I looked at. It didn't mention specific characters, so I left it at that.
Alien... Is it Alien Romulus, or is it...
Alien Romulus. Alien : Romulus.
Alien...
The dot, not COL.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Alien Romulus. So, I just want to see casting list. I just want to see what her name is listed as. Okay, well, there's only the top 6 that are on there, and they've only, apart from one of them, they've all got only one name. So, I'm not going to look into it any further. But I'm not excited about that. I'm hoping that they do a Prey 2 or like another Predator one that's again far more smaller budget. Again, like, you know, go era specific. You know, a Japanese samurai, you know, coming up against predators 600 years ago. That'd be pretty sweet.
That'd actually be really good. Like, basically Assassin's Creed it, where you're just jumping from different... not like... so far into the film, it just goes to like an animus and the predator's just there. He's not actually hunting anyone. It's all imaginary.
It's predator training.
Yeah. But no, like, just seeing it jump to different times up until it gets up to really like army.
With sort of like the... it was sort of like late 1800s, wasn't it?
Yeah, your more thingy tribes.
It's so good. I need to
good
watch that
film.
Again. That was genuinely really fucking good, that was. And all of the Alien ones have just not really landed for me. Like, Prometheus was, as like a concept, was kind of interesting, but it was more, you know, this crew on the hunt for a progenitor of the human race. And then they just sort of went, and then it's aliens. Like, if they'd have just kept it as just sort of like, you know, spooky alien sci-fi horror, it would work on its own, just with, you know, the robot kind of figuring out what's going on.
It seemed like it was a film that didn't know what it wanted to be.
Kinda, yeah. And then they're just trying to make the xenomorphs out of it. But just they don't need to have an origin story. They're just a scary monster. Just have a scary monster. That's all you need.
Yeah, say Alien and Aliens, they're probably my favourite ones. And I'll be honest, out of all the aliens, I think Isolation is my favourite alien thing.
I think you're probably right. I mean, no, Aliens. Aliens is fucking incredible. But Isolation is terrifying. For me, I mean, I know that some people are like, ugh.
No, it is. It's a scary game. Like,
it is
obviously,
scary game.
You know me, like, I love horror games. And the fact that the story's very good in it, the atmosphere's basically the first film, where it's very fucking tense, and
the design is incredible as well.
And that's why I like it so much. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's not like a Colonial Marines kind of thing, or what was the?
No, it's good.
No, not Colonial Marines. The new one that Sega made.
Alien. I mean, they did Alien versus Predator again, and then
no. It was Colonial.
I'm sure it's
Marines something.
I'm thinking it's just Colonial Marines.
No. There was Colonial Marines, which was the absolute dogshit one that was made about 10 years ago. There's a newish one. I think it came out in the last year or two. It was Colonial something.
Let me see.
Was it on Game Pass? There's some sort of alien thing on Game Pass. I'm sure of
it. Alien game. Dark Descent.
Was it that? 2023. Yeah, so that's the new Colonial Marines kind of one. That's like a squad-based thing. But there was something, I'm sure it was on Game Pass. It was like a first-person shooter. Don't you remember? There was like flamethrowers and smart guns and pulse rifles, and it was fucking sick.
Well, I'm on all of the Alien games. and I'm in... Oh, they're cancelled. So you got Predator Hunting Ground, Alien Fireteam Elite, Dark Descent, Rogue Incursion. That was this year.
Fireteam Elite, that's the one.
Fireteam Elite.
I've just searched for it on Game Pass. It's been taken off free Game Pass.
Oh, yeah. I do know the one you mean now.
Oh, it wasn't first person, it was third person.
Third person, and it was like...
That wasn't actually too bad, to be fair. Although the reviews don't seem to agree. There's probably a reason it was taken off Game Pass anyway. But that one was okay. That new sort of squad one, I genuinely didn't look into it in any way because it seemed so sort of Colonial Marines. I don't know if it's actually any good or not. But Isolation just seemed to just hit so many fucking marks. Like all the clicks and clanks and every button did a thing and you couldn't kill it. It was always there. It was a constant threat. Absolute. It's like fucking thingy from Resident Evil.
Mr. X.
It's just always in the way. But you're trying to fight humans and robots. Exactly, and that is why it works, and that's why I really do like it.
I think it helped it came out of nowhere, and it was just like a surprise hit.
It's like, hey, we made a good Alien game, everyone.
Yeah, it was basically just like, here's an Alien game, and then people played it and went, fucking hell, this is really good.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, especially like Colonial Marines and stuff, where it's, right, we've got it this time, we figured it out, we know what it is, and then it comes out and you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And that's not what, me personally, that's not the Alien game I want. I don't want to be charging in gung-ho, and I want to be trying to just stay alive as long as I can. And that's what Isolation does. Which leads us into, Dan, there's a Quiet Place game coming out that did come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that one I didn't expect. I mean, so day one is out soon? Is it this month? Is it next month? This month. I thought it was July, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it's next week.
I don't think it's a cinema watch for me. Mainly for the fact if it's not Krasinski, if it's not Blunt, then I'm committed to that family and like their whole thing. And I'm sure that this is quite good, but I don't know why I'm getting kind of Cloverfield vibes from it.
Yeah,
so
spin off after spin off.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, like in terms of like the scale, it was like Empty City, monsters zipping about.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously not from a camera perspective, obviously, but it just feels like they've gone, oh, people really like this. Let's put $1 billion into the budget. It kind of, again, you're quite right. It segues quite nicely. The reason that it works so well is because that it's not, they're not fighting off a million aliens. They're just trying to just get by. They've got all of these ways of getting around and not being attacked by these things.
Yeah.
And then when they have to deal with one, it kills them all.
Yeah.
Or they're not fucking soldiers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And 2 was, I don't remember. I think I've only seen 2 once.
I've only watched it once.
Yeah, so I don't remember a huge amount, and that I can't remember what sort of like was in part 1 and what was in part 2.
The second one is with oh god, what's his name from Oppenheimer?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
But day one, as an origin story, I kind of it's an interesting thing to see how did this alien invasion happen. But you know what happens.
Like, we saw that in the first and the second one.
Yeah, they come down, they're attracted to anything that makes noise, and they kill everything. You know how they got to that point. You don't need to see how it started, surely. Yeah. That being said, playing a game that's based purely around stealth and not making any noise, I don't want to play that, Callum.
Well,
I don't want to play it.
It's...
Because it would shit me up and I'd be so annoyed. Because you just step on the wrong bit of glass and then bang, you're dead.
But that's why I like the idea of it. However, in the trailer for the game, there's a scene where they're driving in a car shooting out the back of it. So I'm like,
Maybe it's a bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm not too happy with that. But like I was saying to you yesterday, I'd really like it if there was like a microphone bit to it. So like if you were playing it and you were talking or something, they're just going to find you straight away. So
if that's an option,
I'd love that.
If you can just turn that off, because if you've just got cars going past in the background or someone sneezes and then you get killed, and you're like, I didn't do anything wrong.
But that's what would happen in real life though. If you sneezed in real life and you got us killed, that'd be your fault.
Well, that's true, but that's why I wouldn't want to hang around in a noise-centric apocalypse with anyone who's got a cold.
But saying that, though, I saw earlier on when I was getting looking through for the news stuff, and I forgot how I got onto the thing, and someone else had said about a quiet place. Like, it would be good if there was a microphone thing. I was like, I knew it was a good idea. Somebody else has had it, so it must be a good idea. And someone,
well, it was in PT, wasn't it?
Very to a similar.
It played
sense.
Shit back at you.
Yeah, it would use like if stuff that you said, if it had the thing. So if you said something about spiders, there'd be a picture of spiders and stuff. If it wasn't already in the game, then it wouldn't do it. But apparently,
there's a couple of games I've seen though. Like there's one on Instagram which is some sort of weird Japanese anime. Not anime. It's like a Japanese horror. Sort of like ghost girls being chasing someone down or whatever. And that has got like a microphone drawer on it. Oh. So if there's anything in the background, it'll come for you. Apparently,
the PlayStation 4 version of Alien Isolation had it.
I don't know if the PC version.
No, it was just the PlayStation version. Apparently.
Is that just because the inbuilt microphone in the controller?
Because there's one on the controller, but if you had any microphone plugged in, it still did the same thing. And I played it on PlayStation 4. I probably died all the time. Yeah, I killed loads of times.
Yeah, it's probably just by shit that you didn't realise. You're like, this game's so unfair.
Yes.
It just keeps finding me. I don't understand.
And I'm saying it out loud at the same time and just getting caught again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, apparently so. But I can't see it only being in that. It'd have to be in the other version, surely.
I don't know.
But I'm not going to look into it. But yeah, that's quite cool. But yeah.
It is.
Hellboy is, I don't think we've got a release date for it, but it is this year. Which seems real soon for a game we only found out about yesterday. A film we only found out about yesterday. Seems really, really soon, and it's like July now. So yeah.
Again, it does have sort of like a straight to streaming kind of vibe to it, which is potentially that's a good thing though. Like I say, you kind of build it from the ground up. You know, you write a really good story, you write a good character, you get someone who can play that character well in the costume. You get people coming back and just go, fuck me, this is actually really good. Then that's when you get your sequels, and then that's where they put the money into it, when they know that they can actually get a return. Yeah, it's a bit of a risk at the minute after how much money the last one lost. Well, exactly. I reckon most of that probably went to David Harbour, because he was absolutely flying high at that point.
Yeah. Speaking of Stranger Things people, though, Dan, obviously Joe Quinn.
You just built this whole podcast around segues.
No, that was I've just thought something in my head. It just flowed very well.
Okay.
I saw a thing yesterday when I was gathering the news up. Like Joseph Quinn, who plays Eddie in Stranger Things, Guitar Man, who's playing Johnny Storm in the new Fantastic Four movie. And somebody asked him how he's like preparing for the role. In the interview, he just said, I just set myself on fire every day. I was like, that's real funny. that was it. That's all I wanted to say.
I did see something kind of in passing that said that this Fantastic Four film was a non-MCU main universe 60s.
It's sort
of like
alternate
family drama sort of thing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. You don't need to be like, oh, and they were in space the whole time. They just no. We'll just if the people are coming into this, there'll be a magic, whatever, and they'll just get pulled through. That's how we do it from now on. There's
already multiple, like whether it happens via Loki, whether it happens through like as with the Marvels, and I think Rambo's gone to the other universe where seemingly the X-Men are. There's so many different ways of just bringing them in, but by making them separate, which is something I'm pretty sure. When we talked about the Fantastic Four reveal, this was something you'd already said. But if you make these new films, non-mainline ones, the ones that work can carry over. The ones that don't work, we don't have to have anything to do with it, and it doesn't affect anything else. And that's a much smarter way of doing it. Much smarter. But yeah, there's still no real information on it other than it's in the 50s. It's an alternate timeline.
60s, I think.
60s, sorry. It's an alternate timeline. And we know who the cast is, and that's it.
Yeah. I think with like the issues that they continue having with Blade at the moment, just being pushed back and rewritten and pushed back, and then a new director and then new directors, I need something to look forward to,
Okay.
and
Deadpool this month?
Logan is. I don't know. Part of me sort of like, is this just going to be? Is it just going to be like gimmicks and catchphrases, and then
probably
bang, it's over? I don't know how much like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman can just carry that just purely on their own sort of likability.
I've had my tickets booked since the day we were allowed to book them. That's all good for the 25th. So that's in a couple of weeks' time. But I saw something today, and I didn't read it, but somebody saw the first 40 minutes of the film, and they basically just said, it looks like they've just been allowed to do free reign, and it's phenomenal. And I just stopped reading at that. So
I'm going to message my lads and just be like, right, we're going to go and see Deadpool.
So I bought my tickets, let's say it was last month, I think it was, maybe even the month before. Even if it's shit, I was still going either way. And while Dan's doing that, if you want to go to podcastversusplayer.com/PvP store, we have a Deadpool and Wolverine Best Buddies t-shirt.
Do we?
Yes, it's been up there for a while.
Cool.
Went up there with the
Maybe I should go check
Gambit
that out
one.
with everybody else.
I've already bought one for myself to wear to go and see Wolverine and Deadpool.
Nerd.
Yeah, well, it's my clothes.
I mean, I say that I'm literally wearing a Punisher t-shirt, as we say.
But no, I honestly, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. Mainly just see, obviously, we already know Hugh Jackman's going to be donning a more comic accurate costume than he has previously. Just that alone is enough for me. It's I haven't looked into any stuff. I've had some stuff spoiled already, and I did pre-warn you the other day to just stay away from everything so you don't get spoiled.
But I think I know what it is, because I was on the YouTube homepage and it was just like bang, right there, and I was like, God's sake! I mean, again, it's one of those things that I'm just sort of like, that would have been a nice thing to just find out.
Yeah, it
would have been a nice thing to see.
It's going to be the thing. I know it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But it's not going to ruin anything else of the movie itself. It's just sort of like, oh, I wish I'd have just. Why put that out? Just unless they're sort of like, look, we've shown him in the outfit, we've shown something else, but that's not even the crazy stuff. Like we're giving you these little things to just be like, oh my god, but it's when you go and see it, you're going to get the huge payoffs,
which is probably the case.
It's all just trailer bait stuff, and it doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, again, it's not out of the realm's possibility with Infinity War, and we got to see Hulk storming through with everyone else, and he's not even in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Like, it's out next month, mate.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're showing someone who's in it. That's not going to be like, got you.
Never know.
I'm confident. I'm very confident in that.
To be fair, with the spoiler that I saw the other day, I don't know if you remember, but ages and ages ago, I was on about some set photos that were leaked, and
they'd been photoshopped to like go, which one's real? Yeah,
so like you didn't like there was somebody's holding something, and it would be like a bottle of bleach or whatever, but it wasn't really a bottle of bleach.
Sure.
A lot of the things tie into what I saw months ago,
right? Which
is really annoying because I don't like spoilers at the best of times, but I hate it more when they go. Like what was probably the case with you with YouTube, where it's the thumbnail. Why the fuck is it the thumbnail?
Yeah,
like, people will click the video. If you just put Deadpool, Wolverine, spoilers, people will watch the fucking video.
Or the people that want to watch it.
That's what I mean, yeah. You're still going to get the same amount of people clicking on it, because the people that don't want to see it won't watch it. So
True, but they may very well click on it to go and then whinge in the comments about why would you put this in the thumbnail to get the engagement.
Speaking of YouTube, I was watching a video yesterday, Dan. I had a fucking advert come up, and it was like 3, 2, 1, skip. Press skip, went straight to another fucking advert. I went, what the fuck was this shit? Wait for that. Watched that advert finished. I watched, no word of a lie, about 7 seconds of the video, and it went to another fucking advert.
What?
I was like, you could fuck off. I'm not going to bother. And I still haven't finished that video.
Well, that'll show.
I had my first Amazon advert the other day as well. I was fucking livid.
Oh, I did. Like in last week's episode of The Boys, talking about The Boys. And there was 3, I think, in that, 3 or 4.
3.
And yeah, I'm just like, I don't have network TV for a fucking reason because I hate commercials. And now you're bringing it into something that I pay 90 quid a year for.
Yeah. It's a fucking outrage, it really is. And like we said before, put it at the beginning of the episode or the beginning of the movie, I can live with that.
Yeah, a 30-second thing at the start, I won't watch it, but sure, you put it in there if you think that you, for some reason, Amazon, the biggest fucking company on the planet, you think you need a little bit more revenue. You think you need to remind people who you are or that you sell things on the cheap or whatever. People know who you are by now, so shut up. Do it at the start. People can make a brew or don't pay attention or whatever, and then they can just watch the episode of whatever it is they're watching. Stopping intermittently to be like, hey, we do other things. Hey, here's a thing that we're selling. Hey, here's another show that's going on. And not making that a skippable option. Fuck off.
You know, like I kicked off on, because I've been very, very lucky up to now with the Amazon adverts. Like, I know you've had a few with other shows and stuff.
Fallout, I think.
And then that was my first one that's popped up like in the middle of something. And that's it to so that I get why they're doing it. I don't agree, but Netflix are doing it, so we're going to fucking do it. Yeah, but Netflix charge a lesser price and you have adverts. You're making me pay the same as I was already paying, and now I've got adverts and I've got to pay £3 more if I don't. No, you can fuck off. I already paid too much. But this doesn't make me go, I'm going to pay $2.99 extra a month and get rid of the adverts. It makes me go, I'm just going to cancel it altogether and pirate everything.
I'll steal your shows. I'm going to try and force this shit down my neck.
And that's obviously that's not the right thing to do, but neither is a multi-billion-dollar corporation trying to milk an extra bit of money off me.
Trillions.
Probably trillion, yeah.
But I think that they'll probably cave to backlash.
They're going to have to.
People just be like, you know, you're doing this purposefully to just try and shove advertising down people's throat. But you're not. It's not like paid advertising. Yeah. So it's not like companies that are using that time. It's for you. You're advertising yourself for people who have already signed up to yourself. Yeah. What are you going to do other than just annoy the customer base that you've already got?
I will say one of the adverts was for Quorn.
That I have not seen an advert that's outside of Amazon products.
Yeah, it was some puppets. And the woman didn't even eat the sausage. So at the end, she's just like, but she doesn't fucking bit it. Like, you fucking dickheads. So I remember the one of the Kardashians was doing that burger advert, and she was pretending to eat.
I don't.
I definitely sent it to you. So
anything to do with the Kardashians, I'm not watching or interested in.
But yeah, it's just not. It's not right, and there's not enough shows on there for me personally to warrant paying the extra money. Because once The Boys is finished, I've got nothing else to watch on there now. Clark's is finished. Well, this season.
So their revenue last year, Callum, $574.8 billion. And yet I need to have adverts on my shows, do I?
If anything, they should be paying us to watch stuff.
Unbelievable. They have got 1.5 million employees, which is kind of bonkers.
Is that
and
across
they treat
the
them
warehouse?
all terribly, as far as I'm aware.
And say, is that the warehouses and
no, that'll be
media
worldwide.
and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not that many, really, is it? When you think about it.
1.5 million people. That's
it's a lot of people, but I mean, like, in how many Amazon warehouses are there?
Oh, I don't know, 6.
Got to be more than 6.
Nah, 6, I reckon.
One of them's in Rugeley, so. But yeah, I just don't like it. But I've only just recently been hit with it, and yeah, I'm going to continue to complain about it.
Yeah, I think if they just sort of say, oh, do you know what, it's not worth the faff people whinging or cancelling subscriptions out of point of principle. Like, because you're basically trying to force people into certain roads where they go, oh, a commercial. Oh no, I'll pay extra then and not. Like, we're going through a financial crisis.
It's the last thing we need.
What you don't want to do is say, hey, how about you spend more money for something? Mm. People will go, no, because I have the internet, so I can go and steal it.
And I don't even get the luxury.
30 seconds on Reddit to find somewhere where I can go and steal it.
I don't even get the luxury of next day delivery anymore. So, until you sort that out. No, it does
Again,
my fucking
benefits of the city.
Does my fucking Sweden sometimes. Like, sometimes it will be tomorrow and stuff, but then other times, and something's happened with Amazon, and I saw this on a video, but I did test it myself, and it was right, where the way Amazon's set up now. So when you're going through your order, the first option is never next day, like free next day delivery. The first option is always pay like $1.99 or whatever and get it.
Oh yeah,
Tuesday or whatever.
For their cheap subscription thing, yeah.
But a lot of people have been complaining because they're just going click, yeah, it's coming tomorrow, and then they go checking out. It's not coming tomorrow. It's coming fucking Wednesday, and I've paid £2 for it or £4 or whatever.
To be fair though, mate, I do think it's a regional thing as well though, because I bought quite a few food items off Amazon recently, as you're fully aware. One of them I bought at 1 o'clock in the morning. It came the same day.
Yeah.
I say one order that I put through. Most of it was for that day, so it was arriving within like 12 hours or whatever, and then the next came the following day.
I've done stuff where it's been like, again, it's been 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and it's come 5 p.m. Like, I've had a lot of very good experiences, but I don't care what time it comes, as long as it comes tomorrow, because that's what I fucking pay for. That's all I'm bothered about. And
well, I think the caveat is that it's
after 7 p.m. or something.
If it's available to be delivered the next day, then yes, you will get it the next day.
But it should say that. Well, it'll go
it does, because
you've got your stock options and stuff.
You choose it from your checkout thing, though, don't you?
Yeah. But like sometimes.
Anyway, let's not
talk about fucking deliveries.
$500 billion they fucking made.
Also, this week's episode is sponsored by Jeff Bezos, who's.
He's calling us live from space.
I've got nothing else, mate. I don't know if you got anything you want to throw in while we're here.
I want to talk about The Boys, frankly.
Oh, yes, we haven't talked about The Boys.
Yeah, because The Boys is fucking banging, mate.
It's very, very, very good. Very good. Spoilers.
Spoilers for
season 4.
Last 4 episodes of The Boys. Flying vampire sheep. Look terrible, but great idea. Just exploding.
How would you have made it look better?
I don't know. Just flying sheep. Just why do they need to fly? I don't understand. I tell you what, though, I don't really want to talk about something like this because it's a bit sort of gross. But Erin Moriarty, like that plastic surgery is so noticeable. Like I don't understand what drove her to it. Like, if it was purely elective, like if there wasn't any sort of like physical need or medical need to have it done, but it looks like it's just added 30 years on, and then it's had plastic surgery to take 20 years off again, and it just.
I will say it's not as noticeable as the photos that came out way before season 4 started. It was just fucking hell! Like, she was such a beautiful. I mean, she's still beautiful, but
she is. Yeah. You're like 30. You don't need this sort of level of elective surgery unless there's some sort of psychological component behind it. But again, I don't want to talk about it. That's still a bit sort of throws me a little bit. But Anthony Starr is just an unhinged
tremendous
maniac. Butcher and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Sorry, Carl Urban and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That sort of like I still don't trust him at all. But the fact that they're sort of like teaming up and then he's cut that guy from American God's foot off.
Yeah.
He didn't just find a random foot and put a shoe on it. He went, no, fuck it, I'll take his actual foot.
Yeah.
So he's cut his leg off and tied it up in a barn. It was just like, you're going to carry on working for us, son. It's like, oh, you're a cunt. You are a real cunt, mate.
I don't think he's real. Jeffrey Dean. I think he's in his head, like, thingy. Because I only noticed it on the last episode, nobody else interacts with him, ever.
True, but he's also supposed to be like a CIA agent, isn't he?
Supposed to be.
It's like he's supposed to be working outside of the law.
But even
so, like a Fight Club kind of thing.
Yeah. So like, but maybe it's like the weird worm thing that's in him.
It's like manifesting. Maybe, but they
because even like when we find him in the barn and he's had his leg chopped off and stuff. He doesn't even look at him. He only looks at Butcher.
Yeah, and I don't think I've heard anyone talk about him or say his name or anything like that.
He's probably died. Like they worked together, and he's probably already dead. That's what I think. Probably not. And it could just be how it was filmed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but that would be an interesting little turn that well, I don't know why would he, because he's been talking to Jeffrey Dean Morgan whilst he's hallucinating Becca.
But
so you don't hallucinate whilst talking to a hallucination.
It's like your angel and your devil.
I don't know. That seems a bit complicated for this show.
And I've just thought about it.
Tits in Wales.
And with the when he pours him his drink, he never drinks. He never touches that drink, and it stays there. That could.
I don't remember that. But that you're probably right. It could be like a Luke Skywalker. When you look at the details, they never interacted with anything. So how could you have seen that? But again, because he was trying to get him to poison Ryan, and then he's gone back on himself. So yeah, maybe you're right. This is just some sort of psychosis that's
could be well off that. It was just that's what I thought the other day.
It's a decent theory, mate.
I
don't think it would take me off guard that much now that you mentioned it.
No, I mean, I wish I hadn't.
I haven't noticed that.
I wish I hadn't said anything now, to be honest. But
what you could have done is recorded a message now and just said,
I was going to say,
I've got an idea.
What I should have done was just gone, I'm just going to mute you a second, Dan, so you can't hear me, and then said it, and then we'll go back to this podcast when the end of the show.
Yeah.
But no, I know a lot of people have had a lot of problems with it. We ain't going to go into all that because I don't think they're really faults of the show. I think it's just certain groups of people that have found offence with certain stuff. But I think it's been a great season so far. Huey's dad going a bit.
I like his sort of like weird dementia powers. Although I don't understand why he keeps on like running through walls and then like runs it into a person and then stops inside the person.
That was so good.
Why would you do that?
I mean, it obviously wasn't he didn't intend to do any of it, but it was like
he just stopped perfectly in the middle of him.
I mean, that was obviously more for us than
I know, and it's hilarious. I love it.
But I love the fact that Simon Pegg goes from, I was just getting used to his American accent, like even from Mission Impossible stuff, it's still not great, but as Hugh's dad, it was just like, he's just lovable and he's nice. And he goes from that to a fucking serial killer, like in the blink of an eye. I was like, he's a really good actor. He's a very good actor.
Yeah.
I like Simon Pegg a lot.
It is. But then it kind of speaks to the, just because he's got like these phasing abilities, you can still, if you inject poison into him, he'll still die.
Yeah.
Like they're not all super strong, super healed, and then an additional thing on top of it. Again, that's what Sister Sage was saying. Like you mentioned that it was a thing from the comics that she was lobotomizing herself because her brain regrows.
Yeah.
But the rest of it doesn't. Also, I felt it was quite ominous when she went, "Oh, stab me in the heart and I'm die, but I'll shoot me in the head and I'm fine." Why do I get the sense that someone's going to stab her in the heart?
Probably. And I can see it being Homelander or maybe even A-Train.
I mean, A-Train, because Homelander doesn't have super speed from what I've seen.
I think he's faster than a man, but not faster. Not faster than A-Train.
No, that's what I mean. Like he could do a lot of damage if they actually managed to turn him and get him on board.
I don't know though, because like Homelander's basically immovable. Like if A-Train ran and Homelander stood in front of him, he'd die.
Oh no, I mean like taking out Sage.
Oh, Sage. Oh yeah, I think he will, because I think she's already cottoned on that he's the one that leaked.
She figured it out immediately, yeah. But again, she's got her own little schemes that's going on, hasn't she?
But now that he's at the stage where he's like, I think she knows that it's me. I think he'll take her out. And she hasn't got any powers to stop him.
No, but if she knows that he's going to be coming for her, then she goes, well, I can, I've got a freeze ray that'll stop him in place. Like, she'll have a dozen ways of disabling him.
Like Batman.
She's already put a thing in his suit. Exactly, it's like contingency on contingency, isn't it? That's how she's been such a threat. So that sort of, A-Train stealing Perm V to give to Huey, and Huey legitimately seeming to forgiving him for killing Robin. I suppose at this point it's been long enough,
I mean, a lot's happened, and a lot worse things have happened. Like, it was a horrible thing, but
but he's also, now he's dealing with Annie having an abortion, and then obviously the hard right sort of go, oh my god, baby killer.
Yeah.
But the biggest question is, what the fuck is going on with Butcher?
I've got a feeling, and again, because this isn't in the comics, so we've been in uncharted territory for a long time with the boys, like pretty much from season 1. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a Venom situation, and like with the rabbit where the tendrils came out of it, and I think that it maybe was like a more cancerous thing, and then the cancer has absorbed the Perm V when he did take it, and that's kind of resulted in this weird.
So it's like manifesting.
Kind of, yeah. And if he dies, it dies, so it will keep him alive that way. That's what I'm thinking.
Because basically every hero in there is just a shitty version.
Yeah.
Not a shitty version. Like they're a terrible,
horrible person
of their,
Marvel
hero
or DC.
Counterpart.
Yeah.
So a Venom one, but Venom's supposed to be a prick anyway. Imagine that it's a Venom knockoff that's better than the Venom films that we've had. That'd be typical, wouldn't it?
I mean, that rabbit was a better version of the Venom films. just that one scene.
But there's there's not really like these sort of like huge sort of moments. But like when Homelander goes into like the lab where he grew up, and he's just there to just
with ice cream cake.
It's like a cathartic thing where it's just sort of like, you guys purposefully tortured me.
Yeah.
And you know what you're doing. And now, he's reached this absolute level of godhood complex where he's just like, I can just come in and just kill all of you. And everyone in this room specifically knows that there isn't anything that you can do about it.
Yeah.
Because you literally tried to do it for years when I was a kid and you couldn't. So now I'm going to kill you all.
That episode.
And I'm going to lock the woman with
all the dead bodies. Well,
yeah, and she can just stay in there and rot. Fuck her.
That episode and other ones as well, but particularly this one because it's in this season. It shows that the boys does a absolute tremendous. Like Homelander is an absolute dickhead, all around horrible person. But then an episode like this comes along, and you root for him.
No, I don't think that's the case. No,
yeah,
I think it's more a case of it does a good job of explaining as to how he's such a maniac. But I'm not just sort of like, I feel bad for him now. I don't feel bad for him. He's still responsible for everything that he's done. And like she said, she's like, you could have broken out. Like, there's nothing we could have stopped you. Like, if you'd have just wanted to get out of here, you could have done.
Well, that's like an abusive relationship, though, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, I suppose, yeah. You're kind of forced to. Yeah, you don't think you've got any other option.
Yeah, you've got to stay there. You've got to take it. Whereas, even more so in this instance with Homelander, he could have just walked through a wall or flew through the ceiling or whatever he wanted to. But at that point in time, he wouldn't have. Even then, he used a fucking elevator to get to the bottom. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just punched his way through. But it's. Yeah, I mean, I think Anthony Starr's like a really, really good actor anyway, and we do need to see him in a lot more than just The Boys and Banshee. But there's, I don't see why people are giving this season such a bad time. Like, it's as good as the others. Not the best, but it's as good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because there isn't sort of like, there's not huge set piece moments.
I need it though.
Not. But that's the thing, they're trying to be a bit more, they're looking at Homelander and saying, how has he ended up like this? And you're kind of exploring some of that. Now we've got some of the Gen V stuff crossing over as well. So we had, what's her name?
Blondie. Blondie and
Sam.
Yeah.
Claire, I want to say, but that's probably
no, it's not Claire.
But like now they're going to be, are they going to make them fight for a position on the 7 maybe?
Hopefully not, because he's a lot stronger than she is. But as long as she's got no gloves on, and she just goes, kill yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot that's building up around sort of like, instead of it just being around like the 7, like it seems to be around everyone around the 7. Like that director who Ryan makes that woman slap shit out of.
Yeah.
Like, so that in itself is like that's him kind of, that's Homelander in his ear, just sort of like, you're better than them. They're nothing to you.
Yeah.
You can just make him dance because there's nothing that they can do to you. You can just kill him.
But
Use the power.
Yeah, it's Homelander and Ryan get in their way. Where Ryan does appear to want to help people. She was clearly being but
he's pushing it the other way. Though.
Yeah.
So it's like, you are doing the right thing
Exactly.
by making him.
Yeah.
And
And Ryan sees it, whereas he's not doing anything. He hasn't thrown somebody through a building like he did last time he tried it. And Homelander's obviously getting under his skin and manipulating him a little bit that way. But that episode, for me, showed a more calculated version of Homelander, where he's not the guy that's just got milk and pubes in a drawer. He is smart and he knows what he's doing and he knows he doesn't need these people.
Yeah, it's like his awakening. He's just sort of like, I don't need Sitwell. I don't need people pulling my strings anymore because no one can do that anymore.
Yeah.
And he's sort of got to a point where everyone in the Seven is terrified of him. Everyone on the board will do whatever he says. The media is like, he's got his own wing of the media, basically. Yeah. And he's got, a completely split country. To just be like, they're the bad guys because they're all anti-Christian and they're all, hippies and blah, blah, blah. And he's getting to a point where he can just be Injustice Superman. He's like, I'm here for your own good. And you mean literally nothing. So I think he will go. I think it'll get to a point where he'll go too far in front of Ryan, and Ryan's like, "Okay, maybe I'm taking this too far.
Yeah,
I need to go back to Butcher." But
might be too late.
The virus. Well, I don't know because they only had one shot of the virus, and they had to give it to a dead guy to feed some sheep. So that's the only weapon they've got so far, and it's all gone.
But how are they going to get it into Homelander, though? He can't pierce his skin.
Put it in his food.
And the milk.
Well, they know about the milk. Clearly, like, A-Train knows about the milk, doesn't he?
So done.
Yeah, unless he can smell it, I guess. Because he's got super smell.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, like, even down to, like, he knew Huey was in the the vent. Literally just walking into the room, he could sense the mass in Butcher's brain before he obviously looked at it.
Yeah.
He'd probably be able to smell it. This isn't my milk. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems too easy though, or it seems that's what they would do, and then that's how A-Train dies.
What, by standing up to it finally?
No, they talk him into it and they go, right, get it in the milk because we know he'll definitely drink the milk, and he runs in, and then there'll be some kind of tell that it was A-Train that did it.
Oh, I see, right.
That's why he'd go. I don't know. I can see him dying though.
Yeah, I mean, considering they haven't really done much with him other than like he's turning himself around, and if he's turning, that means he's got to die.
Yeah,
like because as soon as Sage has no need for him anymore, or can't manipulate him, or use him, then she'll be like, "Oh, all those leaks? Yeah, it was him."
Yeah,
and like here's all the evidence that I've already gathered.
Yeah,
and he'll just be like, "Right, kill him immediately."
That could be the same with that though, where she's like, I've known for months and I've got all this information, and then he kills A-Train and he's like, and then he kills her because you've known for months and you haven't said anything.
I think he's the only person that he actually respects. Like, so she's the only person that he actually respects. Like, because like no one else could get away, like, because she's not terrified of him.
No, I mean, like, but again,
because she knows that she's no threat to him physically. And the only reason that he's come to her is because he needs her, which means that she holds all the cards.
She said that already, though. Like, the only reason I'm here is because you want me to undermine you and stand up to you and stuff.
There's no point in you trying to kill me or actually killing me, because what does it achieve?
Yeah. And
if you wanted to, there's nothing I could do about it. Because again, if anyone could have been recruited to stop him, if they felt that if she disagreed with him, it probably would have been the CIA, or it would have been the boys. They would have said, like, you can think of a weapon or something. She may have already made one.
maybe.
Yeah, as soon as the second you knocked on my door, I started thinking up an anti-homeland device. Or something like dampen his powers or whatever.
It'll probably be some, like, she'll go out, like, A-Train will see the Deep doing a lobotomy on her, and the next time...
I'll try and blackmail her.
But, like, either blackmail her, or while the Deep's doing, he just runs in and just forces it, and then runs out again, so it looks like the Deep's killed her.
I like that.
It's an easy one, isn't it?
He'd be panicking the shit, like, he would have no idea what to do then.
Yeah. Well, he'd think he'd have done it, wouldn't he?
Well, he's just such an idiot. I love him.
He's a lovable guy. He's really funny. I've been watching a lot of like the Vanity Fair interviews, like where they've just got like all the cast answering questions and stuff. And he's really funny in a lot of them. Him and Anthony Starr.
Chase Masterson, I think his name is.
Chase something. Chase Crawford. Chase McCain.
Crawford sounds about right.
Chase the dog from Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
I think he was in like Pretty Little Liars or something girl or Gossip Girl. I think he's out of that. I think.
Okay.
I only know him from this though. But yeah, excellent season so far, Dan. It's on tomorrow. Next episode.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't think I watched anything else. I'll be honest.
New.
Oh, Acolyte,
No.
but you haven't watched it yet.
No, I'm hoping that's about halfway through by this point.
I think there's 3 left or 2 or 3. I can't remember what the episode was today.
Well, we should discuss it in 2 or 3 weeks then, because that's the only time I'm going to start watching it.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
I figured as much,
It's fine. But we'll leave it there then if we've got nothing else.
That'll do. That will do. Thank you.
As mentioned earlier, you can go to podcastdisplay.com and you can check out all the other stuff, including the store and all the podcasts and game shows and Let's Plays and everything else that's on there. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.